Assalamu alaikum students. So welcome to the second audio lesson of Zakat, the pillar of Islam. And in the last audio lesson, we discussed about the meaning of Zakat, the significance of Zakat in communal and individual lives. And then we discussed about some of the ahadith and we discussed about the consequences though, for those who don't pay Zakat. Now, in this audio lesson, we are going to be more focused about the nisab of zakat. Nisab means that how much a person should have to pay zakat. For example, if a person has an exceed amount of nisab, for it means that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has set a certain amount of money. If that person has that certain amount of money, only then he is commanded to pay zakat, right? But any member of the society, if that person doesn't have the money equivalent to zakat or more than nisab or equivalent to nisab, then that person is not commanded to pay zakat, right? So this is the concept of nisab. This is an Arabic word. This is a bit, I must say, a complicated thing, or it is a kind of a legal document which is already set by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam on certain things, right? So let's discuss the nisab in detail now. The nisab was set by the Holy Prophet ﷺ at the rate equivalent to 87.48 grams of gold and 612.36 grams of silver. It means that if a person has 87.48 grams of gold or 612.36 grams of silver in his custody, any of these things, then he is commanded to pay zakat, right? Okay. For up next condition can be if a person doesn't have gold or silver as metals. Okay, for example, if we do not have any gold jewelry or silver jewelry, but we have the money equivalent to this, then again we are commanded to pay zakat. Okay, the next point is zakat, however, is only due if your net assets equal or exceed the nisab for one whole year, right? If you have that asset in your custody for one whole year, only then you are going to pay zakat. So you need to remember, you need to memorize these figures because these are the fixed figures given by the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay. Now, next point is the amount payable is calculated as 2.5% of the total value of one's earning and assets. Whatever I have earned throughout the year, whatever assets I have in my custody for the whole year, on those things I need to pay zakat at the rate of 2.5% only. For example, if I have a lot of assets, a lot of money, so I need to calculate my whole money, whole asset together, and uska just 2.5% I need to pay. Okay. Now, cash, bank savings, and trading goods are applied zakat if these are equivalent to the amount of gold. This point I have explained earlier as well, that if a person doesn't have 87.48 grams of gold or 612.36 grams of silver as metal, as jewelry, okay, but that person has money in his bank account which is equivalent to this value of gold and silver, then again that person is supposed to pay zakat, right? Next point is, according to the hadith of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, zakat is also applicable on agricultural produce if it's 653 kg per harvest. Okay, if from any agriculture field, if a person is getting 653 kgs per harvest, then that person is commanded to pay zakat. Next, percentage is 10% of produced from land, fed land, and 5% of produce in the case of irrigated land. These are two terms, fed land and irrigated land. Fed land basically is the land which on which the agriculture is totally dependent upon the natural source of waters like rain. Okay, and irrigated lands are for which you need to use other means of watering the field. So 10% for for the things or produce which you get from fed land, and 5% on the produce which you get from any irrigated land. Next, on livestock, zakat has to be paid after a specific number. There is a number defined in in a hadith. For example, if someone is having 30 cows and he has those 30 cows for the whole year, so 1 year old calf should be given as zakat. Okay, on 40 cows, if a person has 40, so 2 years old calf should be given as zakat. Then on goats, on 40 goats or sheep, one goat or sheep on 121 or 200. Okay, for example, if a person has 40 goats or sheep, so that person has to pay one goat or sheep as zakat. But if a person has 121 to 200 of sheep or goats, then that person has to pay two goats or sheep as zakat. Then, if a person has 300 goats or sheep, okay, so three goats or sheep should be given as zakat. You need to understand it a little bit and you need to learn it by heart. You cannot, write it in just like approximately or something. You need to be very, very particular about the numbers. Then, similarly, on camels, 5 to 9 camels, one goat, that person should be given as zakat. Or if a person has 10 to 14 camels, then two goats or sheep should be given as zakat. Next, if a person has 15 till 19 uh, camels, then that person should give three sheep or goats as zakat, right? 20% of produce of mines must be given as zakat. Means that each and everything zakat has to be paid if you fall on that nisab criteria. Okay, so this is very, I understand this is very critical, and this is very important to, and this is very difficult actually to learn the figures and numbers, but it is very important to learn the exact figures, right? Now, the recipient of zakat and non-recipients of zakat means that who can accept zakat and who cannot accept zakat. We get the knowledge of recipients and non-recipients of zakat from Surah Tawbah. According to this surah, we have eight recipients of zakat, starting from fuqara, masakin, amilin, mualifatul qulub, gharimin, riqab, fi sabilillah, and ibn sabil. Let's get into the details. Fuqara are those poor people who do not have the rate of zakat. Means that they do not have any means to pay zakat, so they can accept zakat, right? Masakin. Masakin are those who are extremely poor. They do not have any rate of zakat and they are forced to ask. Okay, they are extremely poor. Then Amilin means official appointed by the state to collect zakat. There are some official sectors which are responsible to collect zakat from the whole state. Okay, so we can pay zakat to them and they are given zakat against their salaries. Then mualifatul qulub means that those who are recently joined or accepted Islam, so zakat was applicable to them as well. But nowadays it is not applicable because for many of the reasons. Okay, but you need to mention it. Then we have gharimin, people who are in debt, means that people who took loan but they are unable to pay it. So zakat can be paid to give away the loans. Riqab means slaves. We can use money of zakat to purchase any slave. It happened in in past years that people had to pay something to get the slaves released from their masters. So zakat can be used for this purpose as well. Then we have fi sabilillah, means that in the way of Allah, specifically for Muslim soldiers and generally for any good objectives. Then we have Ibn Sabil. Ibn Sabil means the travelers who need any financial support during their journey. So zakat can be used for their help as well. Then the non-recipient of zakat, those to which we cannot pay zakat, right? First is Hashemites, means the family, the descendants of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Zakat is not to be given to them. Then non-Muslim, we can help the non-Muslim, but we cannot help the non-Muslim with the money of zakat. Okay, we can have normal sadaqah and charity and whatever, but if you have specified the zakat money, you cannot give it to any non-Muslim. It should go towards a Muslim hand. Then, once parents and children, I cannot pay zakat to my parents because my parents are my responsibility. Okay, they are not someone who should take zakat from me. And similarly, my children, because my children and my parents, my grandparents, they are my responsibility. Okay, it's not my choice to give them something or not. It's my responsibility. I need to do it in any way, in any case. So zakat cannot be given to your children, to get grandparents, and your parents as well. Then zakat cannot be given for the construction of the mosque, and zakat cannot be given against one's salary. For example, if you have a house help, okay, so you need to give her the salary, but you have planned that I will give her the salary from the money of from my zakat money, so I can pay zakat as well and the salary will be paid as well. No, okay, you cannot give someone's salary from your zakat. Like, it is zakat, the money of zakat should be spent as zakat only, not as someone's salary. Okay, even that person is poor, it's if it is her salary or his salary, you need to pay something, some other amount to them. So these are the non-recipients of zakat. Now, what kind of questions do we get? Question which may come in the exam is, describe how zakat is carried out by the Muslims in the society. Carried out means that you need to mention each and everything in this answer. You need to start from the meanings and a little bit about the importance of zakat, then conditions of zakat, then the rate of zakat should be very very clear, right? It is something you need to be more focused on. Then the recipients and non-recipients of zakat. It means that if this question comes, you need to write down each and everything in detail. I hope these audio lessons will help you to understand the concept of zakat more clearly. So get prepared for the past paper question and try to write down your own answer. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.